a live form because I got a lot of notes that I took down on the community cookbooks that I found very interesting, and that way I can pull out some of my community cookbooks that are in my collection to kind of show you. And I apologize for the dinging. Um, so my name is LouAnn, and welcome to my library, which is in the process of making. I got to get organized one more shelf, and then get another shelf. At least that's my plan. I got to get rid of a lot of stuff to order to do that. So, your community cookbooks. That's what I'm talking about. The new series that I got going on here. A little bit of history with this. Your community cookbooks. The first one appeared in 1889, and I am reading off of this. And it was the reason why the community cookbook back in 1889, they was trying to raise funds for injured soldiers during the Civil War, which I thought, well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know they went back far back. Um, and I started collecting community cookbooks, going through thrift stores or yard sales, and I would see a cookbook. I'm gonna go like this, use this one as an example, and I'm like, that's from an area that I know where it's from. I wonder if anybody I know put a recipe in here. So I would go and gather these up, like different areas that I know my family lived in, which is another part of, you can use these cookbooks as a history item. Like for instance, um, like I said, see if any family members or anybody I knew um, submitted a cookbook to that. So that is one deal. You can look and see. I know there is online. I ran across somewhere where they categorized all the community cookbooks, but there's tons of these out there. Besides history, look at the pretty drawings and cute things that they have in here. And another example is um, the different deals that isn't no longer really feasible right now. I mean, how to remove stains from washables. There's a lot of great tips in these. And I only pulled out two of my cookbooks. And there's some recipes in here that you can't find ingredients for as well. I try to find a cookbook that had the ads in it in the back. That's also kind of know what's going on. Look at there, around the world recipes. Um, so, oh, and even has it where, that is so cool. German potato salad, which I do have some cookbooks that are German uh, phase foods in there, but there are definitely some good information in these community cookbooks that after I drop them all. And besides, and here's another one that I got. Um, this one even has sort of kind of the address of where these people lived and what city. But look at those photos. Not all the community cookbooks have color photos, just a FYI, at least that I've noticed. Um, so also, besides a family, I'm kind of scatterbrained here. Family members could have submitted a recipe to that. That is, if you're into family recipes. Um, like, for instance, my mama was famous for coleslaw uh, until She would make it from scratch, which I need to try to remember to ask her what the recipe was, if she remembers. But I know after the coleslaw dressing came about in the store, that is when she started using that one. Um, and of course, my grandma on my mom's side, um, she came across a recipe, and I think it was out of one of the community cookbooks or maybe a newspaper or something of that nature. Pinto bean cake. Yeah, you're right, a pinto bean cake. And it didn't taste nothing like a pinto bean. And she would take it to all our family gatherings. She would take it to our family reunions that we would have. And let me try to think. I'm kind of scanning over this because I wrote down what I wanted to say for this. Let's see, I did that, and I told you about how I started collecting and recipes I've always loved, and why I decided to call this new series a um, community cookbook, because I feel us content creators on YouTube, whether you're homestead or cooking or whatever the content is, we're all a community. There's different subtypes of our different genres. First, a hard time find my word there for a minute. So, and I'm like, well, we're all a community of cooks out here. We are all a community of content creators. So that is why I decided to call it Community Cookbook Club, besides trying to go through some of these cookbooks that I have. As you could tell, there are a lot of a lot of cookbooks back here. So, and that's just part of the collection. There's a shelf over here. I do have one more box and more cookbooks in the front room that I need to go through and fix and put it on the shelves. So this is just a quick live and tell you a little bit about the Community Cookbook Club. And if I feature a cookbook I'm trying to feature a cookbook a month. I know the month of July there will be 2 cookbooks that I'm featuring. Um, if you happen to have that cookbook, I know, and when I do the community ones, they're going to be hard to, you may not have those. Um, But if you have that cookbook that I'm featuring that month, feel free to go ahead and pick a recipe that you can either have the ingredients for, or the ingredients aren't that high expensive. Feel free to do a video, and I would appreciate it if you would tag my channel and tag the hashtag Community Cookbook Club. um, Now, the months that I feature like a community cookbook, I would love for you, if you have them in your possession or even maybe on Pinterest, to add a video on there as on those months. So now I guess that's it for the, which is weird. I kind of did this and did it in video form, and it was over 15 minutes long. And I know it would have been great on that, but it would have a hard time for me to get it on my laptop. Because that's how I do my videos. I video with a camera phone, and then I Bluetooth it to my laptop, and then I edit it, and then I load it up on using my laptop. Um, And to let you all know, I may or may not be taking a break. I'm having shoulder issues as well. I did something to my shoulder, and I have a feeling I know what happened um, to it, but I'm in the process of waiting for them to decide what they want to do, going to see a specialist on that. Um, just FYI for you. I'm trying to make this, stretch this to 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes. It would be nice for 30. It would be nice if somebody were to hop in on here, but so we can talk. But if not, that's fine too. So this is just about community cookbooks, um, and why I just a little bit of history for that, and a little bit about me and my cookbooks. So I'm gonna go put these back real quick and I'll be right back because I know where I put them. Yeah, I think this one went up here. Nope. See if I can find one of the ones with the ads. Maybe I'll pull some of these out. Here's a music one, Bach, and it even has who it was. And there, look here, this was a library book. Trying to find some photos from this cookbook. This one is from it's Picnic and Patio Classics. That is what is on here. Box Lunch. The Cleveland Orchestra. That's what it benefited. Trying to find some photos. There's that one. Oh, let's see. Pull out some more. I know them are all work baskets. Oh. Trying to see what. Oh, this one has some good information. Food qualities. How many how many pounds and stuff that you need for each deal. I'm trying to find some different ads that I was talking about. I know some of my cookbooks do have that. That one. Oh, here's some. Here is the different ads that was during this, and this cookbook is from Texas for the South Side Baptist Church in Carthage, Texas. And here's some more ads. Honey crackle corn, strawberry fig preserves nutty popcorn. And here's some of these places may not be still in operation. I don't know. I don't live in Texas. So they are very historical. Jiffy cake. But I know some of my cookbooks don't have. Oh, wait. I seen something. Seen an interesting recipe. Lemon tea bread. Here it is. Sourdough biscuits. Has you to make. And it doesn't call for sourdough. It just tells you to have mix it all together, and you could tell this was well used because of all the stains. And here's the church. But this is just a little after I dropped the book, and I know I have a couple of recipes with this cover on it. take some out. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. So since I've got to the 15-minute mark, thank you for anyone that comes and watches this at a later date, or since nobody didn't come in. But then again, I really didn't put a label on this, a title. I will go do that here in a minute on that. So that is it for today. So be sure to, I hope you enjoy the new series, Community Cookbooks, Community Cookbook Club, which I got inspired by watching another fellow YouTube that has a cookbook club, which I do watch. So, and I've been inspired by others as well. Just a FYI. So that is it for today. So see y'all later, and God bless.